everyone, it's Joe from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, selling you the best bullion bars and coins shipped to you worldwide from Melbourne in Australia. This is your weekly precious metals technical analysis where we take a look at the big four: gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. Yep, I know. It's been a long time. It has been since over a month ago since we've done a technical analysis right here. And it's this one right here back on February the 22nd, so definitely way over a month ago. So my apologies for that. I've been explaining maybe in other videos. We've been incredibly busy, as you can tell. Lots of things going on in the store. But finally, and I've been trying to do one over the last number of weeks, but then something happens. So I think now I've finally got it done, unless something happens now and I get interrupted. But fingers crossed, of course. You've got to head over to youtube.com/bullion now. Hit the big red subscribe button. Since last technical analysis, we now have, what's that, 2,480 something subscribers. We are kicking goals for sure. If you're new to this, if you're watching our channel for the first time, you've got to subscribe, because our epic unboxings, and we usually put these things up on the website for sale straight after the video, or just after the video has been uploaded, and they tend to sell out really quickly, particularly in the current climate. Lots of epic unboxings, our technical analyses, our store updates, weekly auctions as well. One of those will be coming this week too. Lots of reasons, but okay, this is what you've been waiting for, a technical analysis. So we got to go back and quickly look at where we were at the last technical analysis. And if you like, you can go and find this particular one. It's from February the 22nd, and you can watch the whole thing if you want and just have a look at what I was thinking might happen in the coming weeks and whatnot. The big one for me is gold, and in this video, as you can see right here, we're hovering about $1,643 US, and I had these two lines drawn in right here. That one at about 1,000, you can see here, if you can see it, it's quite minute, but $1,690. It was a horizontal line drawn in there. And the next one at around about $1,800. I was saying in this video that I thought the next stopping point, the next resistance point, would be at around about $1,690 to $1,700, around about there. And let's go and take a look at that. This is on the monthly. Maybe we'll take a look at the weekly time frame. And lo and behold, yes, we did see, this was around about here where that last video was from. We saw a dip, and you've seen what's been going on in the market. We went all the way up to what, 1690, then had a big retracement all the way back down to the previous high of about 1560, and then another one up, and then this huge spiking range. The volatility in the market's been pretty big recently. A little pierce above the 1700 mark, then all the way back down to the 1450 mark. Now we're all the way back up again, look at that, all the way back up to 1643, which is where we were at last time. And now a little bit of a retracement, but what you'll notice is it retraced back down perfectly to this trend line right here, going through this low, and check that out right there. If I pop into the daily, bang, right on it. Now, that's where we've come from. And obviously, you know what's going on in the rest of the world with everything else going on. So we're seeing, as we're saying, we're seeing some volatility in the market. But I think with what's going on in the world, I think I'm going to keep my call of higher prices coming in the next, month, 2 months, etc. I think I called the all-time high, I think, would be reached within, I think it was by the end of the financial year. So by June the 30th, I think we will end of financial year in Australia. That is, could be a different financial year for other places in the world, I should say. But by the end of June, I think we will have reached the all-time high of $1,900 and something in US dollar terms. And I'm still making that call. I think we still could reach it in that time. So remains to be seen, but I think we are still bullish over the next couple of months, next few months at least. So I'm going to keep those targets. The next target coming up through here, this is on the monthly time frame. The next target for me is actually going to be obviously here at this $1,800 level, and the next target above is going to be at your 19, whatever it is again, that's the 1920 US dollars. Now, interesting. So that's basically what I'm going to keep it as for now. That's my bias is to the upside in the next few months. What it's going to do in the next, few days or couple of weeks, I'm not so sure about because of the volatility. We could see a big drop all the way back down to there, but then it might just rise back up and go up on its merry way. But I am bullish in the midterm, the next few months. I think we'll hit the all-time high. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I will admit to that, of course. So that's just my personal feeling. And what am I about to say? Not financial advice. But just so you know, if you haven't realized already, and I've mentioned before, we've been so busy in the store. Previously, when we were doing over-the-counter sales, it was just lines out the door. And recently we have closed the store for over-the-counter sales, but we're still taking orders via phone, the website, of course, and via email as well. So we're putting things up on the website every now and then because, supply is a bit limited. Certain bars, coins. We did a big upload of stuff to the website last night, and people snapped up a lot of gold coins, silver bars, and they kind of went really quickly. So this is what's happening in the market at the moment because of what's going on in the world. Anyway, I was going to show you the XAU AUD just for our Australian counterparts here. As you can see, this is on the weekly time frame, up to that recent new high last week because of the Aussie dollar dropping. So I'm going to show you here. AUD USD. Where is it? AUD USD. Right here. You can see, and this might not be as interesting for everyone else outside of Australia, but we had this huge drop in the last couple of weeks, all the way down to about 55 cents. And that pushed the price of gold in Australian dollars up to a brand new all-time high in Australian dollars. I've got to find it. XAU. There we go. XAU AUD. All-time high of, was it 27.70 roughly, 27.70 in Australian dollar terms. A little bit of a consolidation back down to $25.50, and now we're hovering at about $2,600. As the gold price moves up in US dollars, I think we will see a slow rise. But again, depends on what the Aussie dollar is doing. If we have a big devaluation of our dollar, in the opposite direction, if we spike back up again and go to where we came from in the Aussie dollar, then you might see it flatten or even lower. But if we have a devaluing, then you're going to see it climb even higher. So I think things are looking positive in the next few months for gold and the Australian dollar as well. So that's gold. Let's go to my good friend silver. Silver has been lagging a little bit. It hasn't had as large of a rise. And check this out. This is the thing I wanted to show you. This is the thing I've been wanting to show you for ages. We have had this big dip all the way back down to $11 something. Now, in a videos quite a while ago, I didn't think we would get back down past, I think it was about $15.50. I thought that would be the lowest, or possibly even down to here, but we got down to here and we went shrunk all the way down with, of course, we couldn't foresee what was going on in the world with the new thing that's in the air at the moment. I can't even say the word because YouTube will just demonetize this or whatever, although they might not push it out with the algorithm, so I can't even say the V word or the C word, but you know the word I'm talking about. So I want to show you this. This is very interesting, and I wish I had have done this. I wish I had have shown you this before it actually happened. You'll have to trust me. You have no reason to trust me, but I did the following before it happened. But what I want to show you is after you come up to a certain high, and after a certain amount of time, we've got a few metrics in there. There's a decent way that you can find out what the low might be, and that's using Fibonacci. And you've just seen the chart just before, but I'll show it to you again. I deleted it and I'll show it to you. So what we do is we take it from the high, and what we're looking for is key points where the price hits key Fibonacci targets. So for example, if we go down and we try and pick the most obvious points, so it's not right there. You can see right about there where it sort of matches up with some of the lines. You can see this one right here matches up with the 78.6, but if you take a look at the bottom line right there, the 0 line, that's, well, we're way below that, way below $24. So then you go to the next one. What's the next one which kind of matches up really, really well? And I found it was around about here. Now I'll show you why in a second. Give me a sec. That's that one right there. Nope, that one right there. I've got it. There it is, right there. Finally. Sorry, thanks for your patience there. I got it. So as you can see right here, and what I'll do is actually I'll get rid of this line. Thank you for your patience there. I'll get rid of this Fibonacci right here, if I can do that, so you can see a little bit easier. There we go. That's where I had it. So right there, you can see the 38.2 and the 61.8. I'll get in that really, really tight. You can see those two lines. So we had this dip down to roughly the 61.8, back up. It was a dead cat bounce all the way back down to the 38.2. And I'll just raise that up just a tiny little bit to match the 38.2. Right about that's a little bit better. So you can see how on 3 separate occasions we have this 1, 2, and 3 down to the 38.2. We came back up here, went past the 61.8. I'll get right there, back down to the 38.2, and what do you know, back up to the 61.8, and then all the way down. And what you do is you find where the 0 would hit. So you find a couple of key points. So for me, it was here, 38.2 and the 61.8. And this, I swear to God, I did this before it hit down here. And I thought it could go down to anywhere down to about $11.40. I only did this a few weeks before we had that drop. And then we had that drop, and look where we've come down to so far. Doesn't mean we won't break through and go down further, but so far it's pretty predictive. $11.60 is where we went down to. So again, I can't prove to you that I came up with that before. I just need you to trust me. You don't have to, but I did a few weeks before. I did this little thing, and it came up to around about that $11.40 mark. And since we have seen that spike down, so in my personal opinion, I think we're done with the low. I think the low is in for silver. Particularly when we see this big spike up. Now, I could be absolutely wrong. If we take a look on the monthly, or if we take a look, for example, at what happened in, say, 2008 with the global financial crisis, we went down from 21 all the way down to 8. We were at around, we weren't even at 21, we were around about $19. And if we're going to continue in an economic thing, which I think we're going to, economic downturn, which I think we will, you never could spike down back to 8. But for now, for me, because of this and this 38.2 and this 61.8 matching up with these Fibonacci lines right there, I think that's the low for me. So again, that's not financial advice, of course. So that's, well, silver, where can we move up from here? If we move down from here, let's talk about if we're moving down. And if we are moving down from here, the next logical area is going to be at around about, I would say definitely not there. That's way too close to the previous low. I would say potentially, you can see that right there, but it's much more likely going to be, it could be there, but it's much more likely going to be somewhere in between that sort of $9.50 mark and the $8.30 mark in US dollar terms. So if we do continue down, that's where I think we would move to, around about between $9.50 and $8.30 roughly. And moving high from here, well, you can see that we've got some key levels to break through. This trend line right here, we need to break through at around about $15 roughly, $14, $15. Around about $15 would be the right one. And moving up from there, you can see some different targets. Of course, these big two targets here, that $19 and that $21, they'll be coming eventually, in my opinion. But those, probably this next one, we'd have to break through 15 for me to be significantly through 15 for me to be confident that we're continuing on the way up. So that is silver. I won't do silver in Australian dollars, but I just wanted you to see this and show you that little Fibonacci chart right there. Let's move on to XPT. Man, This one's been a wild ride. XPT USD. Now, I made a call before the whole C word, V word thing. I made a call that we would never see prices below this trend line ever again. Boy, was I wrong. So I copped to that. Of course, I couldn't foresee the CV word, the CV coming along and doing what it's done, and the economic reaction to that. But we've seen a huge spike all the way down, way past that trend line, and that was about 800 roughly, all the way down to $560 something in US dollar terms. So if we move further down from here, we'll talk about that. Let's see. The next logical one would be right about here, I would say, at around about $440 if we're moving down from here. Moving higher from here, if we're sort of resuming a bull market, hopefully one day, then you've similarly to silver, you would need to see it rise above this trend line and significantly above. I would say it'd have to come all the way up to about 950 for me to be confident that we're not seeing lower prices from here. So even if we spiked back up to 900, I'd still be watching out for like some kind of dead cat bounce. So just beware of that. So maybe 950 it'd have to reach before I'm confident we're not going to go all the way down. Having said that, we don't know what's going on in this crazy world at the moment, and crazy it is indeed. But we've got a long way to go now to reach the all-time highs, and this is, $2,270. So got a bit of time to go, but if you scooped up some platinum around about here, you've done really well so far, and particularly if you've been day trading or trading in and out of just the precious metals. If you've been going, buying from a store and then coming back into the store and it's $720, you're still doing pretty well. So that is platinum. And lastly, my good old pal, my good old friend, palladium. We will take a look at the gold to silver ratio as well, because that's really important to look at. Let's see. This one here, I was calling around about the high of 2600. We did see a little spike above. Now, it is a little spike on this chart. It's actually not that high, much higher, but because we're in sort of the $2,000 territory, even a little spike looking on the chart is a couple of $100 above. So we spiked above the $2,600 level that I thought we would. That I thought we would reach, and we spiked above that around about $2,870 US. And I'd been talking about for a while, if we were to have a retracement back down, where would we potentially come back down to? And I thought it would be around about here, the previous old high of about 1,600. I thought that was definitely on the cards at some point. I thought possibly even back down to this trend line. But at the moment, as you can see on the monthly time frame, maybe we'll do the weekly, when everything else was going into free fall, we had a spike all the way back down past even the $1,600 mark. Since then, we have hopefully not a dead cat bounce, but all the way back up to 2420. And that's where we are at the moment. So be aware that this could be a dead cat bounce. And if it is, we may see lower prices. We could see all the way down to this trend line right here, that I would imagine that would be some kind of area of support, and possibly even all the way back down to this one right here, all the way back down, because as you can see, we've actually yet to come back and visit it. So possibly even, it's not that likely, but possibly even all the way back down to about 1150 if this is a dead cat bounce and we go all the way back down. So just keep that in mind. Let's blue sky think for a second and go, well, if it's heading up from here and it's all blue skies and it's looking fantastic, where are the next Fibonacci up targets? And the next one for me isn't this one right here at about 4,000. It seems a little bit too close, I think, personally. I think the next major up target would have to be, honestly, it sounds weird, but I think it might be even closer to this 6,600 mark, and I could be wrong on that. So if we see a big spike, it just feels too close to this one. If we hit this $4,100 mark, I think it's moving closer to that kind of $6,000 mark is where we would head up to if we were just moving higher from here. So I've talked about lower prices, talked about higher prices, that's palladium, and lastly, we've got to look at the gold to silver ratio, because holy moly, in the last number of technical analyses, and this is when we're way back. We came up to this 92 mark and we headed back down, and I thought we were still definitely going to make our way up to the 100 to 1 mark, and I thought we could even go higher. And interestingly, take a look at this trend line right here. We spiked above that even. We're at what is it? 100. We got up to 126, 127 to 1. Holy moly. And all the way back down. Let's see, on the weekly, we went back down to about 110. So still over the 100 mark. I don't know if we're done. Because in times of crises, in times of uncertainty, gold tends to go first. Silver then tends to follow eventually, but silver's been lagging. That's why we've been seeing this massive rise in the gold to silver ratio. What does that mean? It means, well, this is the thing. If you think gold is going to go much higher before silver, then this gold to silver ratio will continue to go higher. So some people may be buying gold now, waiting until the gold to silver ratio goes even higher, and then when they think the gold to silver ratio is at a high enough point for them, they think it's the peak, then they might swap their gold for silver and then ride the wave all the way back down to the more normal levels. And the more normal levels, well, what's normal now? But we thought normal levels are around about your 60 to your 50 to 40 kind of mark. In this kind of general area here is your more normal gold to silver ratio. But I tell you, man, if you even bought silver at 126, and you swap it down here back to what this level here at about 83, you're still doing really well. You're upping your amount of gold. So, silver's a really great play at the moment, but we're getting lots of people buying both gold, both silver. Again, gold because it's a hedge against inflation, and silver is the potential outperformer later on down the track. We do, and us at Bullion Now, we do believe that at some point we will see this reduction in the gold to silver ratio and come back down to these more normal traditional levels. And you never know, one day if something goes on and silver has its final spike, big spike, we might see it. You never know, all the way down here one day. And even people like Mike Maloney and people like that are talking about much lower gold to silver ratio. They're talking 10 to 1, 2 to 1, 1 to 1. I think Mike is even talking about at one stage a half to 1, 0.5 to 1. So anyway, I'd get you to check out Mike Maloney and all those other people. Check out the Hidden Secrets of Money as well. And now I'm just rambling. This has been probably one of the longest technical analysis because it's been so long since I've done one, and I really like doing these for you guys, and I hope you enjoy them. Of course, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Head over to youtube.com/bullionnow, hit the big red subscribe button. If you've got any comments about your feelings about this particular technical analysis, leave a comment below. We certainly want to hear that. And of course, head over to bullionnow.com.au. Products are still going up on the website. You really have to subscribe to the channel, because when we've got stuff to put up, or if we get a delivery in of something special like this 2-ounce geese, we generally will make an unboxing video, and when we release the video, we'll put a certain amount of that amount that we got in up for sale. And what I've been doing recently is I've been allowing between half an hour to an hour after the video's gotten up for people to get the notification, to get to their Bullion Now account, even to set up an account, etc. And they're waiting until the link goes up. And when the link goes up to the sale page of the particular thing that's for sale, they tend to go very quickly. It just is what it is at the moment. So not everyone gets in, and some people do get in. They get a few coins. They might get more than a few, but it just excuse me, that was the phone. It just is what it is at the moment. So with this current supply issues, but we are getting supply in. So as you can tell by these epic unboxing, unpalleting videos, etc. So we're doing all right. We're still getting gold and silver in. In particular, I do want to let you know, if you need gold, if you want low premium gold, you don't care about the brand, you don't care if it's an old bar, or sometimes actually even brand new, freshly made, newly refined bars that we get done from a local refiner, we've got a bunch in stock at the moment. We got in like 100, 200 in, and we've got a great deal with a local refiner. So if you need gold, and particularly low premium gold, it doesn't have to be Perth Mint, it doesn't have to be Pam Swiss or whatever. you want to check out the website because we've got half ounce, 100 gram, 50 gram, low premium 1 ounce as well. We've got gold coming in, so don't stress. There's no supply issues for us in terms of getting low premium gold in. There's no worries there. And of course, you do want to check out our unallocated stuff as well because you can buy at spot price, and we will be adding more silver kilos as well. So if you click on one of these videos, what you'll see a couple of videos here. If you click on these this sale page, then you'll see these couple of videos come up: how to buy gold at spot price, explaining our unallocated program, and then the subsequent frequently asked questions video. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks very much for watching. Really appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe. Take care, and we'll speak to you soon.